Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have a great guest on. And the reason why I say this guest is great is because I remember probably a little over a year ago, seeing some of the content and the things that he was sharing on LinkedIn and the insight, and even for myself, just the things that I learned from the posts that he was sharing of being a professional in the finance space, but knowing that, finance should be playing a bigger, more impactful, important role in how business actually operates and how we set goals and even work towards achieving those goals. So I'm very excited to bring on a great guest, Anders Liu-Lindberg. Welcome to the show, Anders.
Thanks a lot, Terrell. Thanks for the intro. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I know that there are thousands, right now there's over 50,000 people who probably had a very similar experience of mine of seeing the content you created over the years. So, tell us a little bit about, your background and what really got you started with really putting out the information that you put out.
Yeah, so thanks for asking that, Terrell. So if we go all the way back, I've been 13 years in corporate with the global transport and logistics company Maersk, which is the biggest shipping company in the world, container shipping company. And I've always been in their finance function, working different controller roles. In Europe, controller role is sort of like more an entry kind of level role. And then I've been a finance manager in the US, actually in Houston, Texas. And then I've served in various business partner and business partner project type of roles. And so, that was my whole corporate upbringing. But I guess the other side of the story starts maybe back in 2012, where I get to the US in my finance manager role, and I sort of figure out how to do that. And then I have sort of some excess capacity or spare time where I really just start to share content and write a few blog pieces on a few sites to just share my story and my thoughts, because I didn't see a lot of finance practitioners sharing their thoughts. I mean, lots of consultants and of course big four people and all that, but not a lot of practitioners really sharing their stories. So I thought, why not, right? Just to build my brand somehow. So I started doing that, and then I did it more and more on LinkedIn, where I share stuff, but then I started blogging there in 2014. And since 2014, I've been blogging at least every week on LinkedIn. And now it's like 3 blog posts a week that come out and a weekly post. And of course, I engage with people and all that stuff. So it's kind of a lot. And of course, that has also helped me become a co-author of a book about business partnering. It's helped me launch a company. And, it's been a wild ride while I was doing all this corporate stuff at Maersk as well. But really, it was just born out of the passion of telling practical stories and cases that could help other practitioners do the same or move towards a more impactful role in their company.
Awesome, awesome. Now, when you started out just, sharing, like I said, your experience, what was kind of the reception that people had when because it was, like you said, there weren't that many accounting and finance practitioners that was doing it. So how did people kind of respond when you first started doing it?
I think to be honest, most of the response was probably internally in my company saying, is this guy looking for another job, right? Because that's what happened back then, right? If you were active on LinkedIn, then people thought he's or she is looking for a job. I actually had a manager sit down with me when he joined the team I was part of, and to become a manager. And he sat me down after like a week or two and said, "Hey, great to meet you. And I was just taking the LinkedIn profiles of the people that are going to be in my team, and seeing that you're really active there. Are you really here, or are you looking for another job?" And I guess some of that stuck, throughout the years. But luckily, of course, there was a huge loyal following building, and of course, I connected with lots of people as well, and they are very much appreciative of everything that comes out. I mean, you always get the lone person that doesn't really like it from time to time, but now it's hugely positive reception of almost anything I do, and people really appreciate me both pushing the profession, but also sharing stuff that can help individuals move in whatever direction they want to go, but at least move out of that comfort zone. Accountant sits in front of the screen, never gets out of the office.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, as you started kind of moving through, the early days of your career, What was there something that really triggered it for you to like to really start thinking like, hey, I need to break away from the stereotype and really actually become more of a partner in the business?
So I guess it didn't come from myself per se, but I started as a financial controller, right? So it was very much at a group level in my company, working with huge numbers, but had no relationship with the numbers. And I'm not sure where it came from, but I really wanted to get closer to the business. That was a key point for me because I thought I cannot really do much with these numbers, right? I report them to go into an annual account, but I can't do much with them. I can't do any insightful analysis, so I wanted to get closer to the business. So I went from being a financial controller to being a business controller. And while I was in this role, which was a lot about management reporting and doing also consolidated financial statements for a business unit, then I was pushed towards this partnering concept because we were implementing it in the company. And the first thing I really just saw, I think, was like this pyramid that had decision support in the top, then has some analysis in the middle, and transactional in the bottom. So that was like the first image, and say, okay, we got to move from here up to here and become business partners. No real guidance and not much, but then suddenly we were business partners, and that was what we were asked to do. And so I guess I was, both having a natural interest, but also just pushed in that direction from by the company.
Mhm. And I mean, and that's been an amazing thing of, like I said, the insight that you've shared there, even like I said, with the book that you've been a part of. So how much of that philosophy has now infused, the work that you do now?
I'd say 100%, 110% even. So the work I do now, I mean, it's all inspired by what I've experienced in my career, both for myself and also what I've seen from others. And of course, the hundreds of talks I've had with professionals over the years. And now, everything I do is about, the concept of business partnering and helping finance and FP&A professionals really just elevate the influence in whatever company that they work in. And I'm privileged to say I can do this every day, and it's what I'm passionate about, and it's really just fuels my purpose of helping all these professionals get have successful careers and what they want. So it's 110%.
Awesome. Now, speaking of, the work that you do now, so if people are looking to do business with you, can you describe kind of what your business is and kind of the type of work you do now?
Yeah, so we sort of have three lines of business. The first one is around research and networking, where we develop all the content and our point of views, ebooks, and other things. And we also have a roundtable, albeit just for the largest Danish companies because we are Danish based. And then I'm also getting into what I guess you can call influencer marketing, where I work for typically software companies and write about the challenges that their customers, which also finance and FP&A professionals, are facing. And I don't promote products, but I promote the issues and talk about how you could potentially solve those issues. And then it could be sponsored content, for instance, that they would put in. So that's the first bit. The second bit, which is really what is it's scorching hot right now in the market, and that's learning and development for the finance people. Right. So we work with corporate teams where we take them on what we call learning journeys. Each month we would tackle a different topic. It could be influencing skills, executive communication, or problem solving, for instance. And then we tackle that topic in a training session. Then they go out and try it in real life. They get some coaching and feedback from the leaders. And then they come back the next month to tackle the next topic. And we'll, of course, follow up on what have they done. And this is what we're really doing a lot of these days. Of course, it used to be face-to-face. Now we just do it virtually, and we look forward to getting back to face-to-face again. But that also means we can work for clients all over the world. So right now I'm working for a client in Eastern Europe, in Southeast Asia, and in Denmark, just to name a few. And that's
Wow.
that's pretty exciting. The last bit is more classic consulting, where we do foundational work in terms of operating model for the finance function, organizational design, and frameworks around business partnering and capability models in terms of what should we develop to become business partners so that we can take them on the learning journey. Those are the main things we do, and of course, we do other things as well. But those are really the main things.
Okay, awesome. So if someone's interested in doing business with you, or they're interested in seeing, where you're posting the content, where can they find you guys online or on social media?
You can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active and engaged there, of course, with my own content and other people's content. But I always respond to messages as long as they're sane and sound. So feel free to reach out at any time. And people are doing this. Now we're talking business as well, right? I use LinkedIn, of course, for content marketing purposes and trying to develop business and develop leads, and people do reach out because of that. So that stuff works.
Mm-hmm. And I can attest to that, because there have been quite a few posts that I posted on like a new show, the Small Business CFO, where you've commented and engaged, and very grateful for your feedback. I know some of the posts that you shared, I've learned and commented on. So yeah, you've been very good about that.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, one last question I would ask is, when you think about, all that you've learned as far as, being a business partner and working with the drivers of the business and really developing that relationship to the numbers, what's 2 pieces of advice that you would share with business owners?
So, of course, if you work as a business partner, you typically work inside of a company, right? If you're a business owner, it might be a bit different. So I'll try to split it up in 2 times 2 pieces of advices, if I may. Yep. So if you work inside of a company, you work in finance and you're a business partner, the first thing is always to get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone every single day if you can, right? Because that's how you develop. And honestly speaking, we're talking about accountants and finance professionals who like to stay within their cage or in front of their screen. So get out of that, and really it follows on to the second thing: get close to the people that you support, that actually runs and drive the business. Go sit next to them. Get out of the finance office. Forget about the finance office. Think of it as like it doesn't exist anymore. Go sit next to your stakeholders, understand them, get to know them, understand the numbers in a much better context. And then you can help them make better decisions. So that, I guess, is the one part of the equation. If you're a business owner and I've just been a business owner for a few years and really just an entrepreneur for the past year, and I guess what I've learned is one, to be agile, especially in this environment here, right? So I come out as an independent entrepreneur, and COVID hits almost right away. So I had to revamp myself and my offerings, and that's really when I figured out this influencer marketing bit where I could use my platform in a different way, and that sort of got me going for the first let's say 6 months. And the second bit is really just, and that goes to business partners as well, build and develop relationships, right? The more and you can do this, and the better you get at it, the more successful you will be in almost anything that you do, right? So build and develop these relationships, because that's what's going to feed you. At the end of the day, if you don't have any relationships, people are not going to buy from you. They're not going to trust you. So you have to build and nurture those relationships, and don't expect immediate results. It takes a while. I've been building my own brand for, like we talked, almost 10 years now. And only recently I really started to leverage it for business purposes, you can say. And it's been transformational for me, to the extent where I really enjoy these business development, sales and marketing activities almost more than actually being a business partner, which I was before.
Awesome. Well, Anders, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for, like you said, the great content that you're sharing, the great work that you're doing. I think, the profession as a whole, I think is becoming better because of, individuals like yourself that are putting out content to really challenge us to get out of that comfort zone and to become more active in really being a business partner and helping drive businesses forward. So thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Terrell, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Finance and Accounting Show. If you like what you heard, don't be selfish. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and then share this with a friend, because you know a business owner that could definitely use this insight. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates when we release a new episode.